Welcome everyone to the studios of the esports World Cup in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We are going to follow the game between the man from Team Secret, Anish Giri, taking on the man from S8UL, Nihal Sarin. Both of them lost their initial matches, and that's the reason why now they are fighting for their survival in the tournament. The game has begun. It's a match between Nihal and Anish of two games of 10 plus 0, and Nihal with the white pieces opens with g3. Very interesting choice by Nihal. Anish thinks for a bit what should be his move here and goes for d5, a central move. c4 played, the English opening by Nihal, and now should Anish take the pawn, push his pawn to c6, push his pawn to e6. Many possibilities here. He goes c6, and Nihal Sarin, bishop g2. Should he go knight f3? He goes queen a4. Very interesting. Pinning the pawn here, threatening to take on d5 so that you can no longer capture back with the pawn. So very offbeat opening chosen by Nihal, which is why Anish is kind of bleeding on time a bit. He's thinking how to counter Nihal's strategy here. And Anish Giri down to 9 minutes 10 seconds while Nihal has 9 minutes 46 seconds. Remember, there's no increment in Esports World Cup. They are playing on their computers. They have to be super quick. Knight d7 played, and I like this move because once white takes, you're not going to take back here, but an intermezzo with knight b6, queen goes back to b3, and now you can take back with the pawn here. Simple. And I believe that is what Nihal Sarin might do here. Anish Giri might do here. cd5 seems like a natural move, but again Anish is thinking, maybe he's thinking whether he should take with the queen here and trade off the queens. He takes back with the pawn, cd5, and Nihal Sarin now goes a4. He wants to kick the knight away. Knight comes to f6, and now let's move a bit ahead in the game. We reach this position where Nihal has just played his queen to c2. Anish has the bishop pair, but Nihal is attacking the bishop. Knight could jump to e5. So Nihal's position looking slightly better. Queen d8 played here by Anish, going back with the queen. And now can Nihal enter the position with queen c6? It's a nice move. But Nihal is thinking here, he has an insanely strong move and he finds it. g4. What a move by Nihal Sarin. If you take fg4, my queen enters. Otherwise, I'll take on f5 and then jump in, and the d5 square would be weak. And this move, I think, has caught Anish by surprise. He goes king g7. Nihal has 1 minute 53 seconds. Anish has 2 minutes. Knight jumps into e5. This is looking really good now for Nihal. Bishop d6, fantastic move by Anish Giri. Takes on f5, takes back. And now Anish moves in. Here, queen c6 by Nihal. He's attacking the d5 pawn, also putting pressure on the bishop. Very strong position here for Nihal Sarin, but a good move for Anish is queen to c7. He has 1 minute 34 seconds to figure this out. Can he find it? Because if he doesn't do that, he is in big trouble. There's bishop d5, there's queen d5. There are all sorts of problems. You just go queen c7, and then if queen d5 comes in, you have some nice move, bishop a6. By the way, Anish finds queen c7. Good move there by Anish. Nihal takes the pawn. And now important to find bishop a6, which is a key move. But it seems like check, bishop f1, and he goes back queen c7. Because he had to stop this check here on f7. e3 played by Nihal. He wants to go bishop c4. White's position looking very, very good. Bishop b7 played. And now queen comes to e6, takes here. Do you take with the pawn? Yes, he takes queen c6. Threatening a mate in one here is Anish Giri, but Nihal Sarin can take the queen and go into this endgame. Bishop endgame, I don't know how to assess it carefully, but Nihal will be a pawn up there. So queen takes queen, bishop takes queen, and bishop b5. He takes, and now the a4 pawn is hanging, so you must go bishop b5, and he finds it. Bishop b5 on the board. Now if you take, this is a winning pawn endgame. So that's the reason why Anish must move the bishop away. And he's thinking where to go. And Nihal Sarin might be able to win. Anish down to 30 seconds on the clock. Wow, he goes bishop d5 and Nihal quickly pushes his pawn. King comes in to f7. And now Nihal can also bring his king in. He goes bd7. Bishop comes ahead defending the f5 pawn. Nihal slowing down a bit because the toughest part in this format is to win a winning position. In order to win something, you need a plan. But it's not so easy to come up with a plan in endgames. Like Anish attacks the a4 pawn, he defends it with b3, he goes back bishop e4, and now bishop d3 could be a nice move. Because king and pawn endgames are winning. King g3, bishop goes back, and I think Nihal wants to take on g5 and play h4. That's his plan. He wants to do that, but he's down to 36 seconds. He's in fact going down to 30 seconds while Anish is on 22. Nihal has to take care of his time. h4 takes, king e7, king g5. It's a draw now somehow. Bishop d5, bishop d3 played. And is this going to be something that Nihal is going to win? He's now again winning. King d7, bishop comes back, his king is entering in. King c7 defending the pawn, but now pushing the e6 pawn. Bishop d3 check, bishop drops back, bishop e4, and now can we push our pawn one step ahead? Yes, he does. Check, king a6, bishop goes back, and bishop b5 played. Takes, king takes, and here king b6. Anish Giri resigns with 8 seconds on the clock for Nihal. He didn't want to test Nihal here. He knew that Nihal can make more than 20-25 moves in 8 seconds or even more. And that's the reason why now Nihal has a 1-0 score in this match. He's played amazingly well in this game. He showed some great nerves in a winning position. And to beat Anish Giri is not at all easy. And Nihal, you can see there, taking his time to drink some water because these games are super stressful, super intense. And Anish, of course, analyzing his game, seeing where he went wrong, because the next game will start immediately. Let's understand what is at stake here so that, we have clarity on what these players are playing for. If you lose this game, you are eliminated and you finish in the position 13 to 16. So you go back home with $50,000, which is also a good sum. But if you manage to reach the positions 9 to 12, then you already go back with $65,000. And when you reach the 8th position, it's $85,000. So some serious money is at stake in this tournament. And the games have started. E4, knight c6, knight f3, d6, d4. Nihal going for this Nimzowitsch defense setup. And we are now transposed into some kind of e4, e5, which looks quite a bit weird. Now bishop, he takes back with the pawn on c6. And this position is interesting. He goes castles. And Nihal Sarin is thinking, what should I play here? Maybe bishop e7 is an idea just to finish his development. He can also think about g6, bishop g7, although it looks a bit too slow. Bishop e7 played. And queen to f3 played. And now black can actually push the pawn to c5. Knight can jump to f5. It's possible. Castles played h3. And let's move on to the position that where we reached after a few moves from here. So knight comes to e2 and Nihal comes ahead with his queen. We can already see Anish is pressing. The time is almost equal. Both players have 6 minutes on the clock, but the pawn structure is slightly better for white. Anish goes pawn to c4. And now Nihal has an important decision to make here, whether to take the pawn or to push the pawn. Now, taking the pawn is correct, because after take, this pawn is weak. I understand that c6 is also weak, but then you have this move queen b2, attacking a2, keeping an eye on this knight. And somehow there is so much of counterplay and compensation that black has for the structure that it should be fine. One thing that Nihal mustn't do here is push his pawn to d4. It looks like a great move because you are trying to make a queen, you have a protected passed pawn, but it just kills the structure, and white has this amazing move, knight c1. By the way, look at Anish. He's in that thinker's pose. Knight comes to d3 and it blockades the pawn and puts pressure on c5 and the queen. So it's very, very powerful there. Let's see what Nihal does, because c4 is a key moment. He's now been thinking for well over a minute on the clock. He is down to 4 minutes 55 seconds, and I think it's good that he is taking his time here, because this is the moment where you should be absolutely sure of your decision. In fact, Nihal can even go queen b2 directly or queen a1, but somehow d4 is a positionally suspect move. And Nihal, oh my goodness, this might be one of the longest things in the EWC. He goes d4 after nearly 1 minute 40 seconds, and Anish quickly comes king f1. The idea of king f1 is that you want to play knight c1 without allowing queen to come to e1. So Nihal once again thinking, and this is a tough position. White is better. Nihal doesn't have counterplay. He's not looking very happy there. This might be something which could really be difficult, and Anish might be able to equalize the scores. If the scores are equalized, we move into the Armageddon with 10 minutes for white, and whatever bid black makes with draw odds for black. Bishop goes to f8. Now what does Anish have that he's going to continue with? I really like this plan of knight c1, knight d3, but also, like, can we simply chop off this pawn? I believe not, because d3 is very powerful. So I think Anish shouldn't get tempted just yet. It's a good moment to actually go knight c1, queen goes back to c7. A very interesting decision by Nihal. He wants to maybe come with his queen to a5, which is what he does. Queen comes to a5. He's putting pressure here. By the way, he can actually now give up his a2 pawn and go knight f4 perhaps on the attack, on the offensive. There's also queen h4. Many possibilities, but Anish plays safety first approach, comes back with his queen to e2, defending the a2 pawn, and makes a lot of sense because he's defending the a2 pawn. And this is where now Nihal has to decide his next step of counterplay. Maybe it is bishop d6. He finds it. It's a good move because it stops the white knight from moving forward to f4. Anytime the bishop and knights are traded, I think it's good news for black. So bishop d6, and Anish Giri is in the zone here. Bishop d6, he's thinking what should be his decision. Look at the setup here, guys. Two players sitting opposite each other. Remember, they have to bring their own mouse and own keyboard because that's the rules of the esports World Cup. You bring your own stuff. King g2 comes up. Nihal has only 3 minutes. Queen jumps into c3, putting pressure in the position. Anish has 4 minutes 32 seconds. And what next to do here? There is a queen e8 check, but I just simply come up king g7. So that doesn't seem to work. And Anish bleeding on time here, 4 minutes 10 seconds. but he still has a solid 1 minute 10 second more time. He goes king f3. What the hell is Anish doing with his king? a5, excellent move by Nihal. He's going a4. As if you take, c4 is hanging, otherwise take twice on b3. b3 would be hanging. And the threat is king g4, king h5, maybe g4, f4, hg5. If Anish is thinking about all that, that's insane. And once again, Anish thinking too much. Nihal has 3 minutes 2 seconds, Anish down to 3 minutes 30 seconds. Needs to make a move. He goes queen d1. But now a4 still. The reason why a4 works is because I take and c4 is hanging. So that's how a4 looks good. He plays it. a4 on the board. Now Anish Giri. Well, why did he bring his king to f3 is the big question here. King g4 played. Plays his king to g4. King g7. And king h5. Oof. Amazing. Amazing. King h5. Anish Giri brings his king right into the heart of Black's camp. Either it's a genius maneuver or it's just going to lose. But I think the engines are in approval of Anish's strategy. Very interesting. Which has made Nihal to think. Nihal goes pawn takes, and queen a5. Nihal is, I think, getting his queen back into the game, hoping to attack the white king, which is a bit misplaced here. Anish has 3 minutes on the clock. Nihal 2 minutes 13 seconds. It's getting more and more intense here. 2 minutes 55 seconds. Oh, Anish Giri should definitely take care of his time, because that's his biggest advantage here. Once you get under time pressure in this format, Nihal Sarin is very good with the mouse. Queen c1, I love this move. Because you are threatening a check and to pick up this pawn on f6. And Nihal Sarin must go back king g8 or queen d8. Backward moves, defensive moves are the toughest. Down to 1 minute 56 seconds here. King g8 played. And now, where does white go? White can actually enter in with the queen to h6, right? But then you are worried about queen a2 trying to attack here. So he goes h4, pushes his pawn to h4, and maybe then this idea, remember we are speaking about it, f4, g4, g5, queen a2 comes in, queen to b2, offering a queen trade. I think trading queens is not to Black's advantage, so Nihal goes back queen a6, g4 played. The position has been equalized, but I think there's a lot of chances here for both sides to go wrong. Nihal thinking 1 minute 16 seconds or Nihal. Anish, whatever speed at which he's playing, he's kept that 1 minute time lead on the clock, which is insane. It's incredible doing that against Nihal. Queen e2, I love this move, centralizing. Maybe to bring the queen up to e4. Queen b8. And now, I don't know from where Anish is going to make the breakthrough. Maybe queen e4 is an idea. Trying to attack this pawn goes g5 takes. And now notice what's happening here. Because if you take hg, the b3 pawn is hanging. If you take king g5, that just weakens your king a lot. Queen d8 check possible. So in a way, taking this pawn looks dangerous. But there is also f6 move pushing forward. But look at the time. Anish down to 1 minute 24 seconds. He's actually thought this is the moment where he uses his 1 minute time lead over Nihal to actually accurately calculate everything. No way is he going to go below this. Oh my goodness. 1 minute 7, 6, 5, 4. He's actually coming to the same time as Nihal Sarin. Come on, move Anish, move. 1, 1. Oh, in fact, he's gone to 59, 58, 57. Ah. Goodness gracious me. Anish Giri taking so much time on the clock for what? He plays f6. And Nihal Sarin now has 10-second lead on the clock. Man, that was insane time management by Anish Giri. I don't know if it will work out for him or not. But f6 is a very interesting move. He goes queen c8 now. And if you take h takes pawn, there's a mate here. You can't do this. So again, Nihal so tricky. With 44 seconds, Anish down to 33. He plays queen f3, a good move. And Nihal can take the pawn, g takes h4. Nihal also down to 33 seconds. Both are finding it difficult. Queen e6 played by Nihal Sarin. Take the pawn, hg5. Takes it. Bishop f8 played. Now both players going to play on 30 seconds on the clock with no increment. Oh my goodness, queen c8 played. Even I'm feeling this really huge pressure while commentating. Queen e6 attacking the knight. The knight comes back. Queen c8. Nihal needs just a draw. He's happy with a draw. But Anish needs to win. Where's his next plan? Anish down to 16, 15 seconds. How is Anish going to play here with someone who's such a speed monster like Nihal Sarin? Knight jumps to e5. And now it's a great position. Knight e5. Excellent move found by Anish. Takes the pawn on b3. Knight d7 played. You need to play queen b2 or queen a2 to attack the f2 pawn. But Nihal Sarin thinking down to 10 seconds now. Goes queen b7. A blunder. Queen e8. He finds it. The bishop is hanging. He has to give up the queen. Now Anish is totally winning. Oh my god, what drama. King h5, bishop f8. He pushes his pawn to d3. Takes it. King h8 comes in. Queen is coming. Oh, don't take the bishop. It's a stalemate. What a trap by Nihal Sarin even with such less time. He's going in here. King bishop h6. There should be a mate here. There should be a mate. Bishop h6, king e4, king d5. Oh, he blunders the queen. King h5. Oh my goodness. He's blundered the queen there. And Nihal Sarin wins this. What a finish. What a finish. Anish, look at Nihal. He's like, I'm done. I am done after this game. Man, what an insane finish. Anish can't believe it. He was winning there, but he had only 4 seconds on the clock. At some point, he was even ahead on the clock as Nihal. You can replay that entire segment to see what happened. And Anish there talking with Nihal. Like, how did I make that move queen h5? Because Nihal was just moving his bishop back and forth. But very smartly moved his king 1 step forward. And then Anish still made the same move. And Nihal managed to win. With this win, he moves ahead and Nihal's just apologizing to Anish, saying sorry, it's such a kind soul there. And Anish, you will usually not see him so dejected. Insane scenes from Riyadh, the esports World Cup for Anish. This meant a lot because he qualified from the last chance qualifier there. Again gets up from his chair. Such adrenaline rush towards the end. But both of them very, very kind and sportsman-like individuals talking with each other. And Nihal Sarin remains in the tournament, will next face MVL, while Anish has to go back home. Let's hear what Nihal had to say after the game.
Nihal Sarin, congratulations. You've made it through the match with MVL here. So you're so fast, man. Like, how are you so fast? That was incredible at the end there. I'm checking my pockets to make sure I still have everything myself. You are so fast, Nihal. Congratulations.
Thank you, but okay, this game, I really don't want to take any credit. Like, I was just 100% or if more lucky. Like, okay, Anish played an incredible game. Like, I think it was very hard to control my counterplay, and he did it in such an expert way. I was always looking to just get the queen in and like finish the game.
Yeah.
But he always kept finding a way. Like, he took his time. He always kept finding a way to keep my counterplay out, and in the end, okay, when it got into scramble, I had even a bit more time. I started to feel more confident, but he still kept playing extremely good chess, and finally his quality pushed through. He just won my queen, and he was also playing very fast. Like, okay, I could have easily resigned just because, okay, I just played for a few more moves. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just complete brain fade. It can happen. It's like the only explanation for this is it can theoretically happen.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, okay.
But you made it through. So do you feel like this format, you mentioned in the videos before, we have some content for the viewers about you being an underdog. Do you feel like this format actually helps you be even stronger than you usually would?
It's complicated. Probably yes. I mean, because I guess I do have an advantage over most players in an absolute wild scramble, because, okay, I've played more bullet than most people, like, except Alireza Hikaru, probably. And yeah, that for sure gives me an advantage, but also I don't think it's so huge because there's still 10 minutes you need to hold. You need to hold on, and also the whole time management changes. Like, you cannot spend all your time early to try to solve your problem. I mean, how much ever speed you have, you will flag. So
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations. You have another match coming up, so good luck to you.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.